A great way to assimilate pacing and bearing knowledge is to undertake an outdoor pacing and bearing exercise. For this, you will need 6 tent pegs, 6 laminated pieces of paper for the letters A to F. You will need a minimum of a 25-metre outdoor tape rule. You will need 1 copy of the Directing Staff Solutions and Answer page. And you will need multiple copies of the student answer sheets. You will also need a compass for you to set up the exercise, and each student themselves will need a compass, a pencil and a series of answer sheets. I'll now go and set up the exercise. To start with, I need to lay out my 25-metre baseline running due east to west. For this, I'm going to need to use my tape measure and my compass. Running out 25 metres, I can then get the line taut, I can set my compass to due west, and I can make sure I'm correctly aligned. Any misalignment at this stage will end up in the results being off. I now have my 25-metre baseline east to west. Now that I've set up the 25-metre baseline, I can go about setting out my 6 letters, A to F. For this, I'm going to need 6 tent pegs. I'm going to need my laminated sheets in the letters A to F. To make things easier, I've punched holes in the top to fit a tent peg. I'm also going to need my compass and the DS answer solutions. Looking at the DS solutions, this tells me that the letter F is due east and the letter A is due west. Each letter will be set up at 5-metre intervals. Each grid square on the solutions is at 5-metre intervals. So I'll now set up, starting at east with the letter F, working backwards at 5-metre intervals. With my letters laid out, I can now roll in the tape measure. Once you have the baseline set up and your 6 cards placed at 5-metre intervals, just have a double check that the baseline is indeed running east-west. If the alignment of the baseline is off, then none of the route cards will accurately work out and the answers could be incorrect. Now it's time to introduce the activity to the students. Remind them that they will need a compass and they will be working on their magnetic bearings. They will also need a pencil and they will need to know their 100-metre pace count. If they don't know the 100-metre pace count, now's a good time to get them to pace the 25 metres already measured out and multiply up to get that count. Then introduce the route cards to them. There are a series of 14 route cards, 1 to 7A and 1 to 7B, the B routes being the reverse of the A routes. There is a space at the top for each student's name. There is also a start letter, and down the left column are the legs 1 to 3. Each leg has a bearing that they are to walk on, and it has a distance that they are to walk on. No one of the distances is any greater than 44 metres. At this point, when they've been issued their first route card, it's a good idea to get them to break down their 100-metre distance pacing into the various shorter distances that they have here. To break down the distances in the route, there are a number of things I can do. I need to find my pace count for 28, 26 and 35 metres. I could use an aid memoir or a ready reckoner like this, which gives me my 100-metre pace count, which mine is 56, and it then breaks down that 100 metres into 10 or 5-metre intervals. That's fine if I have round numbers such as 30, 60 or 90. For smaller numbers such as 28 or 26, it's a little bit more complicated. For 26 metres, I can assume that it's going to be very close or just over my 25-metre pace count. For 28 metres, it's going to be just under my 30-metre pace count. However, there's a more accurate way we can do this. If my 100-metre pace count is 56, I can divide that by 100. That will get me 0.56. That means for every 1 metre, I take 0.56 paces. Using the calculator on my phone, I take my 0.56 and I multiply it by the distance that I need to travel. In this instance, it's 28 metres. That gives me 15.68, or 16 paces. I will complete the rest of the route card using this method to give me my pace count for each of the distances that I need to travel. With my paces now complete, I can start the route card. The Route 1A that I'm starting on starts at point A. From here, I go on a bearing of 0 degrees or due north for 16 paces. After 16 paces, I move to leg 2, which is a bearing of 90 degrees for 15 paces. Onto the third leg, a bearing of 217 degrees for a distance of 20 paces. I have finished up at finish point B. Now confirming the answers. Route 1A, start point A, finish point B. Correct. I'm relieved and quite thankful of that. So that's how we run the exercise. Complete a route card, come back, get a new route card, break down the paces, break down the distance into paces, and then set them on their way. Depending on the level of your cadets, there may be some things you want to revise before this lesson. They will almost certainly need to do their 100-metre pace count. Remind them or guide them through how to break that 100 metres down to get the smaller distances required for these route cards. Also perhaps remind them how to take and set a magnetic bearing using the bezel of their compass. Also remind them how to walk on that bearing, not looking at the compass, but looking at a feature in the landscape. So, it's a relatively fulfilling exercise that will help to revise and teach pacings and also magnetic bearings. All the information and resources required for this are available in the download section, where you can print them off, laminate them and use them yourselves. Thank you for watching.